Hello, Sorcerers. The last time I made a video, I discussed how to better develop managers and leaders. And I promised that I would do another video discussing what happens when teams aren't performing so well. And I live up to my promises. As promised, this video will discuss why teams start to experience performance issues and start to atrophy resources, and some very basic techniques on how to potentially turn that around. Some of those solutions, by the way, are part of the developing video that I did last week. If you follow those processes and those steps, you should have a happier, more functional team. But there's some additional points that I wanted to cover. Plus, this video would be a little bit flat if I just talked about issues and not solutions. Let's get to it. As a leader, you may start to notice that your team is starting to suffer performance issues. This may be based on poor communication. You notice that your team's not doing certain functions well, so poor training. It could be that your organization doesn't have the strongest goals and you're lacking some clarity on focus, attention, tasks. Or it could just be that you have a lack of resources to get all of the work that you need to get done, which means you need to prioritize. Some more advanced thinkers than I would say that some of these systemic issues of performance within a team are happening because of much more deep-rooted issues. And some of those deep-rooted issues were very nicely collected in a book called The Five Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Lencioni. As the title would suggest, Patrick breaks down major team problems into 5 primary areas, which of course I'm going to list out. Number 1, the absence of trust. Teams can suffer when there is a lack of trust among team members. This can manifest as a reluctance to ask questions or ask for help or share information, which can undermine collaboration and communication within an organization. Number 2, fear of conflict. Teams can also suffer when there is a fear of conflict, as team members may avoid difficult conversations or constructive criticism. This can lead to unresolved issues and tensions that can negatively impact team performance. Number 3, a lack of commitment. When team members are not committed to shared goals and objectives, they may not fully engage in the work or contribute their best efforts. This can result in missed deadlines, incomplete projects, and suboptimal outcomes. Number 4, the avoidance of accountability. When team members do not hold themselves or others accountable for their actions, it can create a culture of excuses and blame shifting. This can lead to a lack of ownership and responsibility and can hinder progress towards goals for the team. And number 5, inattention to results. Teams can become dysfunctional when members of the organization prioritize individual goals or agendas over the shared goals of the team. This can lead to a lack of focus on outcomes and results, which can undermine team performance and effectiveness. In many instances, when individual members of an organization are exhibiting these behavior patterns, it is a reflection of the leadership. As I've been reading these books and going through this developing leader's journey over the last few months, I often have to look at myself and take some accountability and take some focus on, am I leading by example? Am I demonstrating good behavior patterns that my team can replicate, or am I exhibiting negative behavior patterns that my team is also exhibiting? And I've been thinking a lot about this over the last couple of weeks. I definitely have a more aggressive leadership style. I have a more dynamic leadership style, which is let's move, let's be pragmatic, let's try things. If things don't work, let's move on to something else. Some people respond well to that type of management style, but other people, very rightly, suffer from change fatigue or exhaustion because there's constant pivoting and there's maybe less stability. So it's something that I am trying to think about as I introduce new ideas and focuses to my organizations. I'm also trying to slow it down and be more thoughtful so everyone could absorb the reason why we're moving in this direction and also take feedback. A good way to assess if something isn't quite right within your organization is to ask the following questions. Do team members openly and readily discuss their opinions? Are team meetings compelling and productive? Does the team come to decisions quickly and avoid getting bogged down by consensus? Do team members confront one another about their shortcomings? And do team members sacrifice their own interests for the good of the team? If you're listening to this and a couple of those questions making you feel a little uncomfortable, we've all been there. The point of this video, the point of these books, the point of these questions are to actually get you to reflect and then open up and try to address some of these festering internal problems. We've all gone through this. We've all faced these issues, but it's a matter of how we action them and bring them out to the light. As I mentioned at the start of the video, I didn't want to just bring up problems and not come up with solutions. And again, I will plug my previous video. There are solutions via that framework and via those structured ways to engage and develop a team. But another way to bring problems to the light and to foster a better energy within your organization is to foster creativity. Let people try stuff out, let them fail a little bit, and let them learn from those mistakes in a safe way. It's kind of like a stretch assignment, but it's a little bit more agile. It's a little less structured. I'm basing this advice from a book called Great by Choice by Jim Collins. I really like this section of the book where Jim mentions a way to approach creativity. He calls it empirical creativity. And he uses this concept of firing bullets and then firing cannonballs. The idea is that a bullet is expendable. It's not costly to try to hit a target with a bullet. And you can try a variety of different things and try to hit multiple targets with the expendable bullets. And if you keep hitting certain targets, that ultimately becomes an area where you want to fire a cannonball, because a cannonball obviously is much harder to fire and it is much more resource dependent. So after you've hit the target and you've calibrated via the bullets, then you lock in and you shoot your cannonball. I like this. It's a fun way to demonstrate an agile approach to trying new things, accepting that these things are going to fail. You fired your bullets, but when you've got empirical evidence and you have success, then you take all of those resources that you have and then you fire the cannonball. And you feel confident that you're firing this cannonball because you've calibrated it based on the information from the bullets. There are dozens of techniques and strategies to approach managing a team, to embracing and encouraging employees. These are just a couple of the ideas that I am consuming and ingesting as I'm reading several books and going on my own personal development journey on how to do these things better. I don't think that there is a silver bullet that's going to fix all of the ills of an organization, but I do believe in pragmatism. I do believe in trying new ideas and not relying on the old playbooks when things aren't working. It's time to bust out something new, try some new ideas, get some feedback from the people that are in the organization so they can feel connected to the outcomes that you are trying to produce. Again, as I read more books, I will start to feather those ideas in and offer the proper citations to those books. So as I'm learning, I'm sharing, and I hope you guys are getting something out of it. And I appreciate you watching this video, and I'm trying to keep it somewhat shorter. So I hope everybody's digging it, and thank you for watching. And we'll be back with another video soon. Take care.